Hi everyone, welcome. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. And if you're my previous subscriber, welcome my baby dinosaurs. I'm so happy to have you. And so, quickly before we begin, I just want to quickly state that this video is for how did the foreign interference starting within the United States government. And so I will be giving you a little history on that. But before we do any of that, this is for entertainment purposes only. I will be going live with a lot of collaborators and YouTubers on Monday next week at November 2nd, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be discussing electoral college map, the popular vote, and many more things. I highly recommend you tune in. Okay, you guys will be able to communicate with us live. I will be going live with Lola and Sharon tomorrow for the birthday giveaway at 9:15 p.m. And I will also be going live with Lola and Sharon that same day at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at night. And we'll be discussing like Halloween themes. Like we're gonna be doing readings on like goblins and stuff like that. And so it'll be really interesting, and it's a good way to get your mind off the election since it's so close. And we thought it would be a really fun thing to do for you guys. And so we hope to see you there. And if you guys are interested in any merchandise or what else? I don't even know. Okay, yeah, merchandise. You want personal reading, anything, everything done in the description below. Okay, I got you. Okay, so anyway, let's get to the real part. Why you actually tuned in. Okay, so a little bit of history before we begin. In 1950, there was a thing called the Red Scare, which is basically where people started crying, like, almost like the witch trial, but they started accusing people of being tied to Russia, and almost like these people were getting a piece from the magicians, and that they were removing them from power. And so what I feel personally, this is my opinion only, simply because I am human, is that they were taking these people who actually had good intentions for the United States and removing them from power by accusing them of being tied to Russia, even though the other person who was accused, the accuser is actually tied to Russia. And so I think they were putting people in, and that's how it all began. But we'll see what the cards have to say. Okay, Spirit, tell me. So how did this story begin? Tell me the story of the United States with the people infiltrating within the United States government. Tell me the story. What happened there? Oh, before we begin, let's do a little white light protection. Okay, I call upon my higher self, my spirit guides. Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Ariel, or other archangels will come through. I call upon you today to surround me and my viewers with white light protection, divine love, and accuracy. Clear the cards and any cards in every deck from negativity and negative energies, and every question that has been asked previously shall all be removed. The only that shall remain is white light protection, divine love, and accuracy. Namaste. Okay, let's begin. Sorry about that. Okay, so Spirit, tell me, can we get some clarity on how did the United States government was infiltrated? Tell me the story there. Tell me the story. So it's not a new thing. I'm getting the 1805 still, so it might be the 1800s. Can I get some clarity on this? How did it all begin? How did this infiltration in the government begin? This is not something new. But how did infiltration within the government? Bad unions. There's bad unions here. Interesting. Okay, tell me the story, Spirit. Tell me. How did it all begin? We got the Fool card. Okay. Tell me the storyline, Spirit. How did it all begin in the United States when people were infiltrating within the United States government? How did it all begin? How did it begin? How did it begin? Okay, we have the Page of Swords reverse. We have Magician trickery. Okay. Alright. What else do we need, Spirit? Do we have all the information that we need? Tell me the story here, please. Give me a story of how America was infiltrated. Oh, okay. Give me the stories, please. Give me the story. What happened? Why was the United States being infiltrated by other foreign governments and foreign influences? Tell me the story. How did it begin? How did it begin? It began with a Democratic leader, I'm hearing. Sorry about the phone. Let me handle that right now. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I had to pick up the phone and hit end so that we don't have to hear them. Sorry about that. Okay, can we have some more clarity, Spirit, on this? Can you tell me the story of how the beginning of foreign influence infiltrating within the United States government? How did it begin? I hear in the Mexican Revolution. American-Mexican War, maybe. That's probably what it is. Okay, so here we have, this is not a new thing within the United States. It's just something that's been going on for a lot longer than we anticipated. I'm hearing, like, I'm looking at, like, this is my interpretation, like, corporations and stuff like that taking control of government, big bank, monopolies and stuff like that. This is a bad union. This is a very bad union. This is an agreement between these people who are making bad unions, not for the good of the people. We have here with a risk they took because they were new. They were entering politics and they had no choice but to take it. And because of that, they were fooled by what they could get out of it, but in return, they didn't understand the consequences. They knew the consequences, but not as severe. Now, this is not something new. This is normally called a new leader. What this tells me is that it's not a new leader. It's someone that we had in the past who allowed it to happen. I'm hearing Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson. There you go. That's what I'm hearing. The first Democratic Party candidate. We have the magician. Trickery, deceit, like that. But also manifestation. But I'm seeing more trickery here. Because it falls under the bad union. Trick people into thinking that they were a good union. What they were really doing, they were stealing money, stealing things from people. I also feel like they were trying to kill people. And so anybody who knew of this kind of information, they killed them. Now, the interpretation of this card also represents to me is Saudi Arabia, Russia, and stuff like that. But since this is the 1800s, they had no influence in that particular area just yet. And so what they're telling me is this is all about colonialization. This is about colonies and people taking up land from other people, stealing land. And so what they're telling me that this is when the United States was going through the 13 colonies. Like I'm getting a picture right now, and it's the 13 colonies up into the Mississippi River. Like they had all that, and so at that point in time, it appears to me that that's what's happening. Like during that time, the United States had the Great Migration. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like where they go from the East Coast to the West Coast. And they were like going, but this is also them stealing land from like the Native Americans and stuff like that. But I'm also seeing this as European powers. European powers, like this could be the Ottoman Empire too. The Ottoman Empire might have something to do with this. Yeah, we have he was the first Democratic candidate. This is the first card that represents Biden. This is a new leader, and so this was a new person. It was someone new and that was entering politics. It was not a previous party that was me. So this is a new party at this time. It caused a tower moment in the Electoral College. Okay, so this happened with him, the Andrew Jackson. So what happened is that Andrew Jackson with John Quincy Adams, okay, so they were up against each other, and Andrew Jackson wasn't able to get enough electoral college votes in order to win the presidency, and so he got thrown into the House of Representatives. And the House decided on the least popular vote winner and the least popular person with less electoral college vote, put it in John Adams' son. And so John Quincy Adams took over, and it was a tower moment for him. He was very angry at this point in time. And what it tells me is that he looked for other outside help to help him influence the election. And because of that, he was able to win the next time with enough electoral votes. And this time, he wasn't tied to any foreign leader. And so at this point, when he ran the campaign, he did it on a basis of genuine, because he wanted to do something. But when he ran again, it appears to me as if, like, he didn't care anymore. Like, he just needs to do what he needs to do in order to get there. And so I think that was the first start of it. Yeah, he was a very strong candidate. However, he wasn't strong enough in the electoral college, which is why I fall between the leader card, the card that represents the Democratic Party or Biden. Then we have the tower card, and this is electoral college. Something bad happened. And so what this tells me is that this is all about the strength. That he's a good candidate, but they didn't choose him. He was offering something new, and the people didn't know how to take it. Okay, and they weren't in a position where they were in 4 years later after John Quincy Adams. He wasn't victorious, which also tells me why the tower card didn't fall on top of the tower card, which told me he wasn't victorious. But we all knew that. That's in history right now. So you can easily look all that information up. It was about this election. It was a decision at the crossroads of the United States. And I feel like if the United States has chosen Andrew Jackson and given him enough electoral votes, I don't think this would have happened as early as it would have did. But it would have happened anyway. But it wouldn't have happened as early as it did. Yeah, and these are the voters. So it's election time and the voters. And what it told me is that they had a choice. And they wanted him, but they didn't give him enough votes to actually have a plurality. Yeah, they didn't give him enough votes. He didn't have enough to win. And so that's what it's telling me here. So that's really interesting. That's a little history there for you guys. Let's see what else the cards have to say. So let me just shuffle this and see if we can find any more information. I'm so thirsty. Okay, is there any information that we need, Spirit? Tell me. Okay. Whew. Trying to do this as fast as possible for you guys. Okay. Okay. 1 second, I'm thirsty. Excuse me. Okay. Pardon. Okay, Spirit Tommy, can we have the second story? Can we have an extension of that current story? What's happening now with the people infiltrating with the government? Can we have another section for the storyline? What happened next after Andrew Jackson didn't win his presidency? What happened? Can we have the storyline that comes after? Okay, so we have something being hidden. This is his win. I feel like this is his win. Like he's hid from political life for a little bit, and then he entered in like 2 years later. Okay. Can we have more information? I'm hearing this is him, but they don't. People weren't expecting him to come back. Yeah, they weren't expecting him to come back, but he did. Okay. What else do we need to know? We have the High Priestess reverse. What else, Spirit? Can we have some more clarity on this? It's really interesting, I'm not gonna lie. No, that's too many cards. Too many cards. Okay, too many cards. Okay, so the first card came out was this, the blue wave, the new victory. Like he had enough. It looks like he's satisfied in this one. Okay, I won't do a reading yet. Okay. Oh, that card came out again. Okay. Can we have some more clarity, Spirit? Can we have some more clarity? Okay, we have this. Okay. We have 3 more cards. Okay, we have the presidency reverse. What else do we need? So I will be doing part 2 of this. It's getting a little long in the video, so I'm going to cut this off very short after this reading. If you guys want a part 2 of how they started infiltrating government, comment in the description below. Okay, what else? Can I have another part? Okay, there's a lot of cards, but we'll just take it. We'll take these two cards, Strength Reverse and Judgment. And then we have the cards on the side. Okay, so we have the moon here, which tells me this is the Democratic Party and convention. And so it almost feels like he kind of hid in the spotlight a little bit, but also was telling me that the Democratic Party wanted him again. They were upset with what happened with 4 years ago. They were upset, and so he was on the ticket, but it didn't. A lot of people didn't know that he was on the ticket yet. Like they didn't know that he was nominated. He was nominated, and he was this new leader who was now in control of the Democratic Party. More people backed him than before. With the High Priestess reversed, now at this point in time, he wasn't doing it out of good deed. He didn't care about what he needed to do. He had a lot of bad and good in him, but because of that, he decided to go with the bad. And because of that, he had enough votes to land him a victory. Now you can see in the background, this is somebody who has the blue curtain and all these states, these opportunities to see that flip in his favor. And look how happy, he's very satisfied. So he's like very satisfied, like I'm the winner. You can't tell me I'm not now. Like that kind of attitude. And then we have here, now he doesn't feel like a victim. He doesn't feel like a victim anymore, and that's in the middle, which tells me this is the card that represents his mood. He didn't feel like a victim of the Electoral College anymore because he knew he could win. He now knows that they can't hold back the presidency from him, and they had no choice but to hand the presidency over to him. He was a corrupt leader. This is someone who doesn't really have the good intention of the heart of the country on his shoulder. He has bad intentions. After this point, he already made dirty dealings with other countries in order to get him elected. But I feel like this is more like the Confederates, like the KKK. I'm here in the KKK, so it may be something with the KKK, and you know they're trying to almost like influence, almost like QAnon in our timeline. We have here with not a strong leader because he's not strong up against other foreign powers, and because of that, he doesn't feel like a guy who he appears very strong. He feels like a strong leader, but he's not a very strong guy because he has the wrong intention, and therefore he can't stand up to the beast. So other people are puppeting him, really. The judgment here, I know there's a lot of people judging this past administration, and they wanted him in, and so they judged the past administration, thinking that he would just. They almost thought of him like, if you look at this, almost like he was some god coming in. He was some god, and look how happy they are, and then there's him coming in, right? But I feel like if he made a deal with Britain. Like, this is a lot of English vibes, and it tells me that the English at this point in time wasn't doing very well in terms of relationship with the United States, and what I'm seeing here is that he may have made a deal with the British monarchy. And so they awarded him the presidency. So it appears to me that it's the British monarch that's interfering, not the Russians or anything like that. We have here, he ended up retreating. He ended up retreating to the British. I feel like that's what it is, because he ended up retreating to the British. I'm here like the Angelus, like the British, but like, you know, the religion. It's like a different version of Catholicism. But he's retreating from that, so he's following their rule. We have here, he doesn't leave. So if you look, he stays there. He stays there. Like, he's almost like he's honored for like what he did for the Britain, really. And this is him analyzing the national debt. Now, I don't know if you guys don't know about this. Because of Andrew Jackson, he helped eliminate the national debt to almost zero. That was the first time and the last time in American history where the debt was actually zero. Let's see if we can get more clarity. Yeah, I'm certain about the future of the United States when he did this. He didn't have America on his side. He didn't have America, and he didn't want to leave America. And so he stayed in the United States. It appears to me that he was offered an opportunity. He was offered an opportunity after his presidency to go to Britain and serve there, but he wanted to stay within the United States because he wanted to see what the United States had to offer. Yeah, so he knew that if he had left Britain, he wouldn't be given the opportunity to win the presidency, and so he probably made a deal with Britain to that help them out using the power of the presidency, but in a way that's like unnoticeable a little bit, but it's very noticeable. Yeah, this is the Republican Party. This is what formed the Republican Party at this point. So when Andrew Jackson was in power, the Republican Party was starting to form. starting to form and starting to begin. And so this is when Abraham Lincoln's now being born or something like this, and then he's starting to have his ideas being made up, and the Republican Party is starting to coalesce. And at this point, it was the Democrat versus the Whig. And we do have here, there was a plan being made. This is a plan in action. But this is him also working on the national debt and all the problems in the United States. He was seen as somebody who was very strong, very wielded. Someone who had the high on their shoulder. And that the people were very happy with what he had accomplished, even though he had done some really bad things with like the Native Americans. He had really done a lot of bad things. He was given an opportunity. He offered somebody, and also see this is his re-election. He offered the American people something. They took it. They took it with happiness. They're like, yes. You know, like when you go to Thanksgiving, you're like, everyone clean the glasses, and everyone hold the glass, and they kind of like the same thing here. Like everyone coming together in almost like a union. And here we have, they're all happy and excited that he was handing a second term for the presidency. It was a brutal election. People were undecided on what way to go, and I feel like that's why his supporters were very happy, because they didn't know the final outcome of the election. Like, they didn't know who was going to win. And so it wasn't a bad push. They won pretty handily, it looked to me. I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't really checked out the actual, like, map or anything. I really doing this on based on what I remember. But I'm also doing this based on interpretation of the cards and my intuition, so I'm not trying to spill misinformation here, so I do apologize in advance. I just want to be openly honest. This is what the channel is all about, honesty and integrity. We do have here, this is him, the Democratic Party, and it's reversed, which tells me that he, at this point, after he leaves, after his 2 terms, like he's done, he's gone. Yeah. He's no longer on the throne. He's gone. He's gone. He's off the incumbent. And then, if you want to do part 2, this is when the fighting begins. Civil War. And so, this is really interesting to see how all this really plays out in the government infiltration and the government and how it all began. And so this is really interesting to see, and I'm really like curious to find out more. But that's up to you guys and whether or not you wanted to find out more information on how the story began. And so if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other people. Let's get the word out that we are a good community, a big family, and I will be more than happy to take anyone and everyone. And so I love each and every single one of you. Stay safe and good night. Bye.